So good to see you, my friend. Sorry for the late hours. I know it's evening in Japan, and you have to work late just to be with me. So thank you very much, sir.
Problem, no problem at all. Thank you very much for inviting.
I take that you are also working around the clock because there's a little show in Düsseldorf in just 2 weeks' time, right?
Yeah, Europe is just starting now, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's
And sorry, what?
11 o'clock in the morning in Europe.
It's 11:30 here right now, so it's just about lunchtime. But we will wait with lunch till after the show, of course, right? Taketsugu-san, I think that when I have been with you guys at iGas, at Pretty United, at the Think Smart Factory in Kyoto, it's always amazes me. Uh, every time I see you guys, it always amazes me how much you put into R&D and produce new products that are simply amazing. Do you still have good ideas for future products, or have we reached the end now?
Yeah, we always, have some ideas, and then we are carrying the smart factory concept, since 2019, and then it is still underway. We
Mm,
haven't, accomplished, the smart factory concept yet. So, but the right now, the market is actually demanding for the smart factory, so we should, work harder, to, accomplish our goal.
mm. One of the things that I was also intrigued about when we met in Japan, and that was especially at the iGas, because AGVs and AMRs and robots, robot arms, is something that you find all over the place with Horizon, and that is of course part of the smart factory thing. Is that also something that people should expect to see at Drupa?
Yeah, yeah, we are bringing robotics and AGV, in our, at the show. And also, our partner booth also, we are bringing our robotic system as well. So
Mm.
we'll have a mini robotic and AGV in
Mm.
our Drupa show.
Mm. So, how important? Because I think you and I spoke about it before. Because one thing is that we can, as an industry, develop smart robots and smart robot arms. Do you see, as Horizon, do you see a demand for the technology in the market right now, or is it just very much in its beginning?
It's still, depending on the market, but I think it's in Europe and US, people are really, considering to taking in,
Hmm.
especially, for, repetitive task, like a simple task,
Hmm.
like, palletizing and such,
Hmm.
people are trying to, move to robotic instead of, labor, workers. So yeah, that's definitely, moving that direction.
Mm. You mentioned Europe and the US. I've always, the many times I've been in Japan, always been fascinated about how you see robots in restaurants, and how you see robots integrated in many daily lives in Japan. So, is the demand for robots in the printing industry not as big in Japan as in Europe and the US?
It's coming. It's coming. Yeah, yeah. But the Japan, in the printing industry, the technology-wise, it's a little bit behind from the Europe and US.
Mm.
It doesn't mean, technology is behind. Taking the technology is a little bit behind because
Okay.
maybe the conservative nature.
Okay. And maybe is it, I mean, Japan is obviously a big country, but is it also difficult to get labor in Japan, or is it not as difficult? And that is maybe also one of the reasons, or?
No, it's very difficult to get the labors. As you know from the broadcast in the Japan, aging is becoming a
Yeah.
real issue. So, and then the born rate is pretty low. So we don't have enough younger
Yeah.
workers in here. So,
Mm.
yeah.
Um, Another thing that I also think is really cool about how Horizon is developing. I mean, because if you look at the ICE system that you are using as both an IoT platform, but also for kind of automation integration, this is something that I find that again Horizon is placing yourself in the front seat, right? Because I mean, when you look at how you're collaborating with also, for example, like Ultimate Tech and with the Info Binder and all these kind of things, it seems that you are very very aware of that it is needed to be the software part as much as the hardware part, right? Can you tell us a little bit about how you see that?
Yeah, the IceLink is becoming very important for us. Connected with the data is actually pretty important. People are, initially, workflow started from the JDF workflow,
Mm.
but the JDF is just a method. And the more important thing, to collect the data
Yeah,
and how to use the data.
yeah.
So now I think it's people are realizing the importance of the data collection. So IceLink has developed for that purpose. So that's why, we are collaborating with the many software vendors.
Mm.
We can't develop everything by ourselves,
Mm.
but collaborating together, and
Mm.
we can get more data.
Mm.
And you know, since 2019, we have introduced IceLink,
Mm.
and then the population is growing now,
Mm.
and we are finally able to see some good data coming into our not into our place. Yeah.
And when you talk about these, let's say, kind of data coming into you, that means that in order to develop the right solutions, you need to have a better understanding of how people are utilizing the equipment, right?
Yeah, that's one thing. But also we can get the customer status and such, from the database. So we can alert to the customer, something happened in your machine, probably you need a service or such. That kind of thing we are able to do as well. So both for us and for customers, I think it's that data collection is a win-win situation between, like us and a vendor and customers.
And talking about data, I mean, not everybody, but a lot of people are talking about a little bit about fear about all the data that floats around in the internet. How do you address security when it comes to, let's say, personalized information or data that can be abused by people? Is that something that you have people concerned about and working on?
Yeah, that's something, always, customer need to be, worried about. So we are actually announcing to the customer, like, what we are collecting is the machine data. It's not a personal data. So that's one thing. But of course, we are collecting the data. So we need to aware the customer what we are collecting.
Oh,
So
okay.
if customer do not agree, and
Mm.
then, we are not able to connect with them, but
Mm.
we just need to be clear to them what we
Mm.
are collecting.
Mm. Okay, I got that. So IceLink and collaboration with the software vendors is becoming important. The technology that you're developing is, of course, always been very important because I think that my good friend from Horizon, Yoshihiro Oro, he always said that we make two good machines. They work too long time, basically, right? But I was just thinking that with all the technology that you're bringing to market right now, I would think that people would need to invest in some of the newer technology in order to get all the advantages of the IceLink and all the technology that you're bringing to market, right?
Yeah, that's true. But also, IceLink is actually able to connect with the third-party equipment or all the equipment
Mm.
by collaborating with the software vendors like
Okay.
uh, Textura or the Spencer
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
those companies we collaborate with.
Mm.
So it is still able to collect the data from there.
Okay, okay. And at Drupa, I guess that you will show this, but you will probably also show, because I mean that if you look at the BQ series, if you look at all the technology, especially for the book market, it seems like a market that is also very high on the agenda for Horizon, right?
Yeah. So yeah, at the Drupa, we are bringing in 18 different solution in our booth, and then the
18?
many of them
8, did you say
18,
18? Whoa, you will be busy
18,
setting up, right?
yeah, 18 in our booth, and
Yeah.
then we will have another six system in the partner booth as well.
Wow.
And then we are bringing the many puppet binder in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
One is actually the standalone,
Mm-hmm.
but the other is actually, Hunkela cut and stack system together with our, BQ 500 inline.
Mm-hmm.
Or, as you can you saw at the IGAS, we are connecting with the Rico Press. So to show, true, book of one solution, printer inline, puppet binding solution. And also we will have a Canon and a Technow integration. So book ready and Canon press, creating the book block, and then robotic arm fitting into our puppet binder. So many kind of puppet binders we are going to show.
When people see these kind of things, I mean, one thing is that you can be amazed about the technology. Do customers right away understand let's say, the potential when they see this level of automation, or is there a lot of explanation that needs to be done?
Yeah. It's also, always need to have a good explanation. But our system is actually the scalable. If customer want to use it as a standalone, they can use it as a standalone. And then they want to integrate with, upstream or, robotics or something, we can always help. So it's actually scalable. So we are trying to, offer a customer as easy as possible.
I don't know if you know that, but we were filming with Hunkler just a few weeks ago, and it was very because I was always like, okay, the relationship that you have with Hunkler goes back so many years that when they were acquired by Müller Martini, I was a little bit afraid that would be like going, up in the warm air. But both Müller Martini and also Hunkler, they really reconfirmed that the strong partnership will continue, right? How important is that for a company like Horizon, that you will continue having that close relationship with Hunkler in the future?
It's actually an opportunity for us always. The Müller Martini is definitely our competitor becoming. For them, it's a smaller range, product. But the competition and then collaboration is actually, we consider it differently. So at the end, the customer chooses, solution. So as long as customer is, looking to our solution, we are thinking we will be collaborating together.
And I can't help think about how many films we have made for you guys with very pleased and satisfied customers, right? So whether it's a stitch product or glue product, it's like all customers are very appreciative about the let's say the sturdiness of the technology, but also the ease of use and how much you adapt to the market. And I think it's truly great because with all due respect, and that I love both your company and Japan in big broad terms, but sometimes Japanese companies are a little bit more like, okay, we are engineer driven. But I think that Horizon is one of the companies that have very good engineering, but is delivering on market-driven demands. I think that I think that brings Horizon in a very unique position, and something that I think you should be proud of. I think it's good, well done, I would say.
Thank you very much. Yeah. As you said, market-driven is always important, and then we are always try to be, at the customer side to get, the real, feedback from the customer. So.
Yeah. So what else can we see? I mean, one thing is we see 24 solutions from Horizon and 18 on your own booth and the smart factory thing like that. But what have you planned else? Have you planned anything on let's say is any news or any things that we should anticipate?
So in our booth, actually, this time we are going to the biggest booth ever for us. So 1,656 square meter.
Wow.
So we are using 3 islands, and then we are actually dividing, 4 sections, A, B, C, D, and then we are actually doing the live presentation in the booth. And actually, the Brian, Colin, right?
Yeah.
They will be actually presenting on the stage to explain our equipment. So in our booth, we will be covering all our equipment in the booth to explain. So I hope, it will be enjoyable for everybody to, see our solution.
I am 1000% that it will be interesting, and I would say also that when I see your colleagues demonstrating at different shows, they are really good. They know their shit, right? So basically, you can be sure that to learn from it. And for the audience, I just want to tell you that it is really interesting to see, because the horizon equipment is really modularly built. So whether you want to use, for example, BQ 500 for making perfect bound books, or you want to use it for making book blocks, or you want to have gaze on it, or you want to have end sheets on it. I mean, you have almost all solutions that you can think of today, right? You don't have section soon or Smith soon, and I know you will hate me for this, but you're still missing the 3-nice trimmer where you can have a flap on your books. That you don't like me saying that, right? I know that.
Yeah, we still have a couple of or many of missing part. So we know we need to develop it. Unfortunately, we are not able to deliver those kind of solution at the Drupa, but whatever the market is demanding for us, we are in our mind to develop in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at how I hope it. I have never checked actually, but I hope that you are successful also financially, because I mean, when I see Horizon and the speed that you bring to market and how you're developing things, it just to me looks like that you are almost impatient to become the world's biggest, right?
But we still need to speed up more.
Okay, well, greatly. One of the things that last question I have here before we're moving on, Taketsugu-san, when you look at the market for the, let's say, the technology that you provide, is it a growing market or is it a stable market?
I think it's a market itself. I think it's a printing industry itself. The volume-wise, it will be definitely shrinking. But actually, opportunity can be increasing depending on the segment. Something like a book title. It's every year. All the titles are increasing, and then for the goods as well. It's increasing. So everything is increasing. So the number is lowering, but the title is increasing. So if we have a right solution, this market can be growing market.
Fantastic. And I take that when you talk about the growing number of titles is also because now when you have, let's say, books of one or very low volume, now it's more feasible to do even short runs for publishers or self-publishers, right?
Yeah, everybody is becoming a shorter and shorter run. Even the book of one, they are requested to us. So yeah, it's very different from 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah, and I think that also from a technology perspective, probably more challenging from your engineers, right? Because to make a mass-produced product is one thing, but to make something that is like books of one and changeovers in format and pages and paper type and things like that must be a headache. So, well, I'm happy that you are doing it and that I'm not doing it. I'm just making the films and the stories. I am sorry that we missed on the timing difference between Europe and Japan, but I am so happy that you took your time to be with part of our pre-Drupa event anyway, Taketsugu-san. So thank you very much, and see you at Drupa, right?
Yeah, see you at the Drupa.
Okay.
I will be traveling this weekend.
Oh, really? Okay, safe travel then, and see you soon. And audience, now it's time for my good friend Andreas Weber, who's always have a good idea to talk about something. So I have a short intro for him, and then see you soon. See you.